Hi folks, Paul Boland here, and welcome to another edition of Named and Shamed. Up for getting a Named and Shamed trophy this time, Electronic Arts. I'm a huge Command & Conquer fan. I have followed the series since its beginning a decade and a half ago. It's an absolutely fantastic series, and it's supported by an absolutely fantastic storyline about the leader of the bad guys, the Brotherhood of Nod, their leader Kane, who is immortal from what we can tell from the storyline. He has lived for decades and decades and hasn't aged a bit, and he seems to know about stuff that's going to happen before it happens. It's a really gripping storyline. The gameplay is just fantastic. It's a series I've always recommended to people. It's just, can't get enough of it. So when I heard that Command & Conquer 4 was being made and was coming out, I was over the moon. And when I heard that Command & Conquer 4 was going to be the epic end to the storyline with Kane and Tiberium, oh man, I couldn't wait to get my hands on this game. Being a huge Command & Conquer fan, I've always bought collector's editions of the game. And the last one I bought, being the collector's edition, I got access to the beta of the next Command & Conquer game, which is the up and coming Command & Conquer 4. I couldn't wait to get in. When I got in, I downloaded the beta, I played a few games, and then I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that Electronic Arts were offering up this shambles of a game for the epic end of the Command & Conquer Kane Tiberium story arc. Now that the non-disclosure agreement has been lifted and we are allowed to talk about the game, I want to warn you, gamers, and in particular Command & Conquer fans who are so looking forward to Command & Conquer 4, beware. Command & Conquer 4 is not a proper Command & Conquer game. In past Command & Conquer games, you would build bases. You do not build a base in Command & Conquer 4. Instead, you get this one unit called a crawler, and that is your entire base in a unit. The story behind it is that technology has advanced so far that bases are obsolete and we can get everything from a base into this one unit. It doesn't work. It's an absolute shambles and a disaster to the gameplay. Because you've no base, you don't harvest. Yes, this is the end of the big Tiberium story arc, the Tiberium which has ravaged the earth. You do not harvest Tiberium anymore. Those days of setting up harvesting routes and keeping your harvester safe while it's getting that last bit of Tiberium back to your base, they're gone. Now, when the game starts, you choose one of three classes that you want to play as. Offense, defense, and support. Offense build tanks, defense build ground turrets and stuff like that, and support build aircraft. You no longer have access to your entire force, everything that you used to be able to build in past Command & Conquer games. You don't have access to that anymore. You only have access to 1/3 of what you had before. Now, you can deploy another crawler into the game when your crawler gets destroyed, or you can nuke it and deploy another crawler to get access to one of the other third during gameplay. But it's not like before. It really is not like before. It's an absolute shambles of a game. Tiberium is in the game, but you don't harvest it like before. Where before we have seen the earth ravaged by this Tiberium stuff. Now it falls from the sky, and you send a unit over and you collect it, and then you bring it back to, well, I was going to say your base, but you don't have a base. You bring it back to your landing zone area, and as you collect these Tiberium shards and bring them back and forth, your tech level goes up and you can build more units. It's crap. It really truly is. That's all I can say about it. Command & Conquer's creators released a video about it, which I'm going to play now. Take a look at this.
Very high volatility Tiberium is spit out from the network and then needs to be collected, or else it's going to continue accumulating at the surface.
But it's a really cool way to get Tiberium integrated into the game. You know, it's very fast. You're trying to capture these control nodes. You're trying to keep the enemy at bay, but at the same time you got to go out, have these units, you know, risk themselves, go grab these Tiberium crystals, but then everybody on your team obviously benefits by being able to get those upgrade points.
Tier 2 technology is now available.
We've been having a lot of fun with it. It allows you to keep in the fast gameplay of capturing those Tiberium control nodes, fighting with your enemies, but then also being able to really help your team out, grab those upgrade points and those crystals, and hey, it's great having that roving bomb.
We're very excited to throw this new mechanic into sort of the old head of RTS mechanics. We feel that, and a lot of the players that we've had play the game feel that it plays very interestingly into the new mechanics of Command & Conquer 4, and really the shift in RTS that we've taken into a much stronger focus on action, on gameplay, on what you're doing with each individual unit.
I'm really excited to see it in the community's hands, have everybody play with it, because I think they're going to really enjoy it.
And I can't wait for you to play the game. It comes out March 16th.
Now folks, I want to highlight two parts of that video. In one part it is said, it's a really cool way to get Tiberium integrated into the game. Tiberium has always been integrated into the game in a really cool way, watching it ravage the earth. So why do we need this other really cool way which isn't really cool? Another thing that was said was, a lot of the players that we've had play the game feel that it plays very interestingly into the mechanics of Command & Conquer 4. No we don't. Everyone in the beta, well that's a lie, not everyone. The majority of people in the beta hate it. We absolutely think it's crap. And we have called and called and called for you to restore the gameplay core which you have ripped out in this Command & Conquer 4. But you haven't listened. And here's some proof for you folks. The Command & Conquer 4 forums, beta forums, have allowed us, the beta testers, to post our own polls. And there's been loads of polls on the forum over the time. I'm going to highlight just 5 of them here, okay? Here's one. Do you guys like Command & Conquer 4? 66% out of 230 votes said no. Next. Are you happy with the direction Command & Conquer 4 is taking? 62% of 615 votes, no. Next, will you buy the game? 69% of 239 votes, no way, it sucks. Next, we want bases, better super weapons, Command & Conquer 3 magic and more. Basically what this poll was, that we want the game to be like Command & Conquer 3. We want the gameplay core to be there that has been there since the beginning of the series. 75% of 234 votes said yes, that's what they wanted. And finally, are you disappointed in EA's response and treatment of its fans? 76% of 123 votes, yes. Folks, the beta testers have been screaming that we do not like this game. Now to be fair, some of them do. Some of the beta testers do like this game. But this was not the game for change. This is the end of an epic storyline which has run for a decade and a half. And at the end, they are releasing this game, which is basically a capture the flag game, as the end, the epic end of a series which has run for a decade and a half. To add insult to injury, there we are, the beta testers, all telling them on the forums that we don't like this game. And at the end of January, EA put up a poll, a survey for us beta testers to take, in which they said, ladies and gentlemen of the Command & Conquer 4 beta, please take a couple of minutes and complete our latest Command & Conquer 4 multiplayer beta survey. Your feedback is extremely desired. After months and months of giving them feedback that the game was not working, they say our feedback is extremely desired. This game is a shambles, folks, but EA have us. They have us. In one area. If you want to see how this epic, decade and a half long story with Kane and Tiberium ends, you have to buy this crap, shambles, capture the flag game. EA, you deserve this named and shamed trophy. This is not the way to treat fans.